Okay, I'm at the bus station in Gaborone. We've just had our first kind of unpredictable turn. The bus company that we thought we were going to take, it exists, but not really. So we're taking just a regular minibus taxi, but we can't get to Charles Hill, which on this taxi, which Charles Hill is at the border. We have to go to Ganzi and work out what we do from there. The taxi driver was very confident that we would just get off at a particular point and hitchhike with truck drivers. So maybe that's what we're going to do, or we'll try and get a taxi from Ganzi. The problem is this messes up our kind of accommodation schedule. We wanted to stay just on the Namibian side of the border. We may not make it there, but yeah, that's part of kind of not knowing. It's part of kind of learning the ropes, and yeah. But people here were very helpful. It's a movie. Yeah. So you can just see where we are. You see the whole place. Are we tired? Yeah, I think we're a little bit tired. Are you tired, man?
Yeah, I am. It's been a long day. I'm exhausted. Long day. Mom was in school.
It seems like it's ball bearings. Hey. Right, here we are in Windhoek at La Marmite restaurant, which is just up the road from a block away from the Turingerhof Hotel, which in turn is very usefully situated because it's right next to the Intercape station or depot terminus in Windhoek. So yeah, I mean we're having beer shandies here. We're relaxing. We're enjoying life and reflecting on yesterday and how when you're really traveling when it's sunset, the sun is set, but you're not sure where you're going to sleep. And there's a small part inside you that wonders, will I have a place to sleep at all? Because it's getting late, places are closed up. Who knows, one might have to just sit around at a taxi rank the whole night. In the end, we didn't have to do that. So the trip from Gaborone to the Trans-Kalahari border, Boutefos is the name of the little settlement on the Namibian side, went well. I can think of like four categories of overland transport, and I think it's useful to think of like the pros and cons of each. At the very top end, you have Intercape, which has excellent online booking facilities, an excellent call center. You can really plan your overland trip. It's not absolutely perfect. We got a message, an SMS, which we could have missed. That basically said that an Intercape trip of ours during the day from Windhoek to Oshikango was now not going to happen because there were not enough passengers. Now, I don't think that happens a lot on Intercape, but it can happen even there. Then kind of going down one level, one has this interesting and big Botswana company called Munagotla, which is this company that used to run these very, very useful Gaborone to Windhoek runs. They don't do that anymore. They stopped during the pandemic. Now, a company like Monagotla is a bit like South Africa's Intercape. It's like the monopoly. It's the big bus company in Botswana. I'd say it's not on the same level as Intercape because you can't buy tickets online. You have to interact with their offices, and I know in South Africa, if you want to take Monagotla from Johannesburg to Gaborone, you actually have to physically travel to Park Station in Johannesburg to buy the ticket, which is pretty inconvenient. But it's a big company. They have schedules. They seem to work very well across Botswana, but not the route that we were taking. Then, like, the next level is these much smaller bus companies, and here I would advise travelers to be really, really careful, because they will advertise times which they then don't stick to. This is what happened to us yesterday. We were going to take OB Express, and we were told that, yeah, most of the time they do have a bus when they say they're going to have a bus, but sometimes they don't. If they don't have enough people or there's a technical problem, then they just don't have a bus. So they have scheduled trips. They don't sell beforehand, and that's obviously because they want to avoid a situation where they've sold tickets to people who arrive and now want to travel. Now, yeah, that can be difficult. And then the next level is minibus taxis, which we ended up using. We used 2 minibus taxis yesterday, and in a way, yeah, it's what you see is what you get. You know, they don't have times, but you go to the bus station, they wait for enough people to fill up a taxi, and off they go. And that actually turned out to be quite useful, and a lot more useful than, you know, imagining that OB Express was going to stick to their commitment to have an 11 o'clock bus. Now, there are 2 ways of getting to the Namibia border from Gaborone. One is to take a transport straight to the border. Now, those seem less frequent than I thought, but I think if one goes, or it seems as if one goes really early to the Gaborone bus station, you will find a taxi that takes you to Charles Hill, which is the border. But when we went, and we went a bit later than that, everyone advised us, no, we have to go to Ghanzi first, and then take another minibus taxi. Which means increasing the emissions slightly, because your distance is a bit longer. It increases by about 80 kilometers. It's a detour. But at the same time, minibus taxis, because they only travel when they're full, really, they do really maximize their footprints and reduce the per capita footprint. The border, we arrived very late, like at 11 o'clock eventually, to the border. It's a 24-hour border. It's called the Trans-Kalahari border, and it went very quick, far more quickly than the border, the Tlokweng border, which was crowded, long queues. This went quick. Then we went to East Gate, this very basic rest camp, useful basic rest camp on the Namibia side. I was wondering whether it was. I was wondering whether it was going to be safe to walk there. In the end, it turned out to be very safe. It's 400 meters from the passport control. We were also worried that they might not let us in, because it was past the check-in time. I had to do some shouting. It looked very closed, but after some shouting, a security guard let us in. So we had a good night's sleep at Buitenbos East Gate. The food has just arrived. Mm-hmm.